Here I am sitting at the coffee shop, waiting for my friend, casually talking to an older gentleman about hiking trails and the weather. By now, this is totally normal for me, but it wasn't always this way. I used to get anxious about even stepping outside, let alone asking a waiter for an extra napkin. There was a time when I avoided social interactions altogether. In this video, I'll share the biggest challenge I faced when I first started talking to strangers, why I decided to do it, and what I typically say. First off, let's get this out of the way. It's not always the right time or place to talk to strangers, depending on where you are or the culture you're in. But where I live, in a suburban area, chatting with people is fairly common. Now, why did I start doing it, and why do I keep doing it today? Well, there's this huge barrier we all know too well: social anxiety. It's a major roadblock. So I decided to confront that fear head on, and surprisingly, it helped. There were other unexpected perks too, which I'll touch on in a bit. I wanted to become more confident, take initiative rather than wait for people to approach me, and improve my social skills. One of the best things about talking to strangers is the freedom it gave me. I've had so many enjoyable, interesting, and memorable conversations with people I'll probably never see again, and that made each moment special. But big thing standing in my way was a massive wall: social anxiety. It used to control my life, but over time, I learned to break it down. Now, I'll show you how I did it. First, I'll share some practical tips that are easy to apply, and then I'll talk about the deeper long-term strategies that worked for me. One of the first steps I took was pushing myself to engage with others, and it really helped ease the initial nervousness. Getting involved in a community event was a huge help too. It forced me to interact with people consistently, and eventually I realized that I wasn't at risk just because I spoke to someone new. Every interaction, whether big or small, ended well, and that gave me confidence. Another thing that made a difference was maintaining eye contact. It gave me real feedback from the people I talked to, rather than relying on my own negative assumptions. Before, avoiding eye contact felt like trying to solve a puzzle in the dark. Once I started looking people in the eye, even a little nod or smile gave me the reassurance I needed. Now, let's talk about the long-term solutions. Therapy. If it's something you've been considering, go ahead and schedule that appointment. It was a game changer for me and one of the best decisions I've made. Another technique that helped was practicing mindfulness, paying attention to what's happening around me instead of getting lost in my thoughts. Simple breathing exercises and meditation kept me grounded, and I highly recommend them. So what do I actually say when I talk to strangers? For me, the second most important rule after self-awareness is to be kind. It sounds simple, but just being polite, relaxed, and considerate really goes a long way. For example, if I'm at the grocery store and need help, I'll ask, "Could you help me find this item, please?" Or, "Thanks so much for your time." If I notice something I genuinely like, I'll compliment the person. It may seem basic, but being kind can brighten someone's day, especially in service settings. One other lesson I picked up was learning not to take myself too seriously. It's okay to be lighthearted and have fun with people. Once, I bought an oversized jacket that looked way too big on me, and I laughed about it with the cashier, saying, "Looks like I'm ready for winter, huh?" Letting go of tension in social situations has been one of the most important things I've learned. Now, for the number one rule: self-awareness. I don't strike up conversations with everyone I see. Some days I keep to myself, and that's perfectly fine. It's all about reading the situation. If someone looks like they're in a rush or distracted, I won't bother them. But if I'm at a park or waiting in line at a coffee shop and notice something worth commenting on, like a cute puppy or an interesting book, I might start a conversation. Finally, and this is super important, stay safe. Don't approach random people in sketchy situations, especially late at night. Your safety comes first. So if you found this video helpful, check out my channel for more tips. I hope this helps.